Alright, so the last problem, I was actually giving you the equation and you're just dropping the input in, right? You're taking the x value that they gave you, just put it in, simplify it. Now we're gonna basically do the same work, but I don't know what the equation is, I know what the graph is. So if I was going to do g of 1, they're telling us that this is function g right here. So do 1, that would be here. Let's do it with the green. 1 would be right there. That's my input. So I go to my graph, and it hit right there, and I can bring it to the side. So what's my output? 3. So remember, the inputs correspond or correlate to the x values. Outputs correlate to the y values. So again, they're giving me 6. So let's go to 6. Do that with purple. That would be over here. I'm hitting there, and when I bring it across, what is my output up there? 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm getting an output of 8. C and D, if you look at those, what are they giving us?
You have to find the x when the gx equals the numbers like for C and D 5 and 0.
So what are they giving us though? The input or the output?
Out.
They're giving us the output, which is really the y value of the problem. So I'm gonna just get rid of those numbers there. Now they're giving me an output of 5. So I should go right there. Now when you look at this, what's happening? We have a couple of values, right? This particular function has a few times when it's giving us an output of 5. So the first one you might say is, maybe 0.5, and what's the other one?
5.5.
5.5?
Yeah.
That's fine by me. So there were 2 inputs that would give us the same output. And what about 0?
There's an output of 0.
That's here. So there's one there, and there's one there.
So 2 and 4.
2 and 4.
So outputs can have more than one input. Inputs can only have one output. Function notation. So any questions about going from the graph or using the graph to get your inputs and outputs? Good. All right, use these functions to find and simplify each new function. So we're just going to run through these quickly. The first one, what do they want us to do?
Find
What are we supposed to put in there?
A.
Put A in. So you got to find G, which is the x squared equation there. So G of A equals A squared plus 4. The x, when you guys are doing function notation, they're telling you that x is what's called the input variable. It's like a box. It's waiting for you to drop something in there. Okay? I could ask you to drop a number in or a whole nother function. But it's waiting for you to put something in. So if they ask me to put in A, I put A in the box and now it's A squared plus 4. There's nothing I can do to simplify, we're done. What are they asking you to do in B?
Find x. Find x.
No. Literally, they're asking you to take function G and subtract function F. That's it. So write down function G, which would be x squared plus 4. To make sure I'm not making a mistake, whenever I subtract, I'm going to put down a set of parentheses. So I'm subtracting what now? F. And F is the 4x minus 7. So I'm putting the parentheses there so that that negative sign gets distributed properly. So I'm going to have x squared plus 4 minus 4x plus 7. Distribute the negative, you end up with a double negative on the 7, so plus 7. Do I have any like terms?
Yes.
X squared minus 4x plus 11. I'm going to pause it for C and D. You're going to work with somebody, so I would try to do the problem, then compare answer. But I'm telling you, they can be a little bit more tricky. So please, please, please work with somebody to try and figure out what's going to happen. I'll put the answers up in a second. Do these last two. All right. When you read C, what is it? Somebody volunteered. What are they telling us to do in C? Somebody, Josh.
Isn't it telling you to multiply?
Multiply what?
The g x.
Yep. And then. We got this.
Minus 4.
Subtract 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't hear. Okay. So we're gonna take G, which is this x squared plus 4 graph. They want us to multiply it by 3, and we still have in the thing there a minus 4. That is all they are asking us to do. So if you distribute the 3 properly, you end up with 3x squared plus 12. Still have that minus 4, so you end up with 3x squared plus 8. Don't do anything else. We're not asking you to do anything else. D. If you can get D, you'll be a step ahead of some of my pre-calc students. They, for some reason, doing that kind of an input gets confusing. What are they asking us to do, somebody?
Distribute.
Use x plus 2 instead of x
So I'm putting x plus 2 into what?
into the x
For which function?
for hx.
For the h function. Okay? Don't do anything more, don't do anything less. So you find function h, which is the h of x equals 5x function. So they want you to put the 5, and instead of x, we put that x plus 2, and we finish with the minus 3. So 5 times x, 5 times 2, minus 3. So I end up with 5x plus 7. Any questions on those last two problems?